We are the official podcast of people that understand simple math. Things like 2 plus 2 is 4, 73 is greater than 62. You know, just random numbers. Extra magic hours are a scam.
My wife is in there's a mom's group text, which that's a whole nother thing, by the way. How sexist is that? I wasn't invited to the group text. She doesn't know any of these women. Just bypass me.
They do a whole app where they just send out mass messages to all the parents.
Well, apparently they added every mom to a group text, and the moms just talk. It's not an official thing. They just talk, and I'm like, what? Let me be a mom. I signed up for one of the parties. Hey, yo. Back with another rendition of the Who Effin' Knows podcast.
The boys are back in town.
Yeah, episode 10.
Yeah, we are the official podcast of people that understand simple math. Things like 2 plus 2 is 4, 73 is greater than 62. You know, just random numbers.
Yeah, I didn't expect that.
No specific reason I chose those two.
Yeah. I actually kind of like the official podcast thing. You know what I was thinking before we came in tonight? I was walking outside. By the way, if anybody can't tell, my voice is going.
Patty's flu game.
It's Patty's flu game. I got some hot tea here. It's literally hot. I haven't even sipped it yet. Can't do it yet.
Chad, I know you're going to watch this. Stop texting me. We're recording the
vlog. I don't know. I was feeling really random, and I was going to just throw one out, but I didn't want to throw you off.
Oh, no. You are 100% welcome. Because most of the time, I come up with them when I'm in your, outside your house.
I was literally, just first thought, the official podcast of Phil Collins fans everywhere. Of girls who totally rip off their eyebrows and then draw them back in. Just, random shit like that.
I don't forgot the past ones. The first one was, dads that let their... or pretend to be sleeping or something like that.
Yeah.
I definitely have forgotten all the ones I've said in the past.
Yeah. Oh, well, a lot. I feel like I haven't talked to you in a month, man.
That's a lot. You just haven't talked to me on a microphone.
That's what it is, yeah. A lot has changed, though. There's a lot to talk about, and we can get into everything. There's this hopefully every podcast we've done is going except for last week's, has gone an hour and 30 minutes. This one might damn well go 3 hours, so buckle up, bitches.
Part 1, part 2.
Yeah, we're just segment it. But no, I wanted to check in with you though, because I feel like it's been forever. How was vacation? How's life?
Life's good. Vacation was hit and miss, I guess.
Yeah. I forgot a storm hit you before I asked that question.
Yeah. Yeah, we went through a hurricane. I do have my top 5 things I learned from my Disney trip, if you want me to get into that for you.
Oh, yeah. Don't save that for later. Let's do it now.
All right. Number 5, extra magic hours are a scam. So in case you don't know, if you're going to go to Disney, pay the extra money to stay at the deluxe resorts, because otherwise Disney's going to tell you you're too poor to get on the rides in the extra magic hours, which I've done the extra magic hours in the past and never had any trouble. But when I went back and thought about it, I don't think I've ever stayed at the All-Star when I did it.
They also changed that. It never used to be like that.
Okay.
Extra magic hours used to just be for anyone who stayed at any hotel on property or any resort.
Yeah, it was kind of a slap in the face. We went to go get on Test Track. It's not even I guess it's the biggest ride at Epcot. Well, besides Guardians of the Galaxy now, but we went to go get on Test Track, and they were just they scanned the card or whatever it is, your magic band, and it popped up and said no. I was like, what the fuck? So
what?
There's that.
How nice were they about it? Because Disney has a phenomenal way of just being like, hey, unfortunately, you're going to have to head right this way, and the exit will be right on the left.
No, he straight up said, unfortunately, it's for people staying at deluxe resorts. I was like, oh, well, we're poor.
That's what it is. What's your list? Keep going.
Number 4, Joffrey's coffee. Not great.
No, it's terrible.
Not great.
It.
Couldn't find a good cup of coffee around there.
Yeah. Anywhere,
man. I was struggling for a week. I went to your place you told me to go to, the bakery or whatever. 3-hour wait.
Sorry.
I tried. I was upset too because there was nobody in line. I was like, oh yeah, we're about to waltz on into here.
Well, I should have told you ahead of time. There is a wait list you can get on.
Yeah, it's the virtual queue.
Yeah. So if you're gonna be in Disney Springs for a while, you can like get on it when you first get. I should have told you that. Get on it when you first get there, and then walk around.
Yeah. Number 3, 9 people. Way too many for a Disney trip.
Yeah.
Way too many, bro. Like, stressing me out beyond belief trying to keep 9 people together, especially when, like, 2 of them are my grandparents and they're on the little scooter things. My grandma can't drive it. It was a struggle. Number 2, the old school fast pass, way superior to this new way they're doing it, where you could just all willy-nilly get however many you wanted in the day.
Yeah.
Way better than the way they do it now.
Yeah. You can only get 2 now, right? Like
No, you can get as many as you want, but like you book Everest or whatever from 9:30 to 10:30, you can't book another one until that hour's up.
Right.
So
interesting.
Yeah.
Genie Plus.
And the last one, the Ireland UK combo in Epcot is elite. Is an elite duo. Top 5 duo, might I add. Throw that, spoilers.
Yeah, a little foreshadowing.
But yeah, the Ireland UK duo. So Ireland had a, I'm sure you know, like Ireland was just like a little hut almost, basically. And then UK, of course, is the pub. So Ireland had it was Guinness.
Snake bite? Is that what you're about to tell me about?
No, it was like a little frozen milkshake thing.
Oh.
It was so good. My mom had 3 of them.
At the you talking about at the like the food and wine booth?
Yeah.
Dude, oh yeah.
My mom had like 3 of them. I had 1. She drank half of mine and then went get 2 more.
Hell yeah.
She stayed there for a while. You got to meet my mom somewhat. Not really.
She was sweet. She feels like she'd be a lot of fun.
My mom is a blast.
Yeah.
That's my top 5 things I learned from Disney.
Awesome.
But it was a good trip. It really was. I mean, my son had a good time. That's all that matters.
Good. This felt like a vent session for a second, so I was hoping there was an upside.
Yeah, no, it was good. This is more so, the anger is more so coming from the dad side of me that just spent a bunch of money to go to Disney and had it cut short.
Yeah, I could see that.
But also from the dad side, he had a good. We did get to do all 4 parks in 2 days. He rode everything he wanted to ride multiple times.
Oh yeah.
We got to ride everything. It was all right.
Good.
So, could have been worse. We survived the hurricane, which thoughts and prayers to.
Yeah, no, that storm was rough, man. I have a buddy who's down in Cape Coral, and fortunately, Cape Coral wasn't as bad as Fort Myers. But looking at where the storm was coming in from, I was like, holy shit! I didn't hear from him for like 3 days, and looking at Fort Myers, I was like, damn, Cape Coral's actually in a worse part storm wise. So I was thinking, man, his house is gone. I don't know. Anyways, he's fine. His house was a little messed up, but he's fine. Area's fine. But yeah, definitely thinking of a lot of people out there.
Yep.
I know I poked fun at a lot of those folks on the last podcast, but listen, we've been through it here, so I get it. It's not fun.
How you been besides being sick?
Yeah. So obviously my daughter, I talk about my daughter a lot on this thing. She started school. I've known you since she started school. It was probably a couple months ago. And I feel like she has brought home so many damn sicknesses and colds and this and that.
And it doesn't end. Take it from somebody
whose
kid's been at daycare for 2 years, 3 years now. It doesn't end.
Yeah. Well, apparently, so not to throw anyone under the bus. Well, it's not throwing anybody under the bus, but my wife is in there's like a mom's group text, which that's a whole nother thing, by the way. How sexist is that? Like I wasn't invited to the group text. She doesn't know any of these women. Like, just bypass me.
They do like a whole app where they just send out mass messages to all the parents.
Good Lord. Well, apparently they added every mom to a group text, and the moms just talk. Like it's not like an official thing. They just talk, and I'm like, what? Let me be a mom. I signed up for one of the parties. Anyways, no. Apparently, a lot of the kids are sick, all with different things. Like there's like half the class out right now, which is different crap. So yeah, but no, I've been good. Outside of that, just head down, new job. Really trying to get that, in a good rhythm routine with that, which is it's feeling good. So, excited about that, and then planning for my Disney trip. So
that's right.
Yeah, same old. We're gonna go back and try and do that whole thing all over again. Y'all see me drunk in Epcot next time. So
it was gonna get so much worse and be so much more fun. I was right when we hit America. I was there. Like I was getting the little buzz going. We went have some pizza, so I pulled back a little bit, I was like refreshed for the second half of the push.
Yeah.
Nope.
That's unfortunate.
But so I still have yet to hit every country.
That's so unfortunate because
So-
it's so much fun. I don't know if I said this on the podcast. I probably shouldn't say this, but I have done it multiple times, and there's one time where I went so hard doing it that as I was leaving Epcot, I literally ducked off and threw up in a bush outside of Epcot. I'm not proud of it. I was much younger at the time, but it happened.
I was ready, man. I was there. My mom was doing it with me. We were having a good time. Even my grandma had a few.
Hell yeah.
So it was a good time.
That's awesome, man. But no, just been holding it down here. Watching sports. We could dive into that now. Watching a lot of sports. Tulane doing it big.
Yeah.
Speaking of doing it biggest. I don't know. What are we saying now? It's like year 7 of
I don't know.
big theme. No, they're not using that anymore. But the Pelicans are. They look phenomenal. Yeah, man.
I don't want to overreact, but I think we're going 82-0.
Yeah, no, I was thinking the same thing. Like it's not it's not outside of the realm of possibility
Not
to
at all.
go completely undefeated and win. Win the
100%.
championship, right? Like that's
Right.
not crazy. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. But no. Which I'll leave it up to you because I'm sure you have some shit written down, stuff written down.
I mean, I have a Pels topic if you want me to get into that.
Well, if we start with Pels, I want to go through all Pels, and then we'll go to the next thing. Let's keep it somewhat organized. So you can start with Pels.
All right.
Let's just dive in.
Well, my question was, because the Saints kind of suck. So my question was,
Fair.
and I put out a tweet over the weekend that the only explanation I have for the Saints being this bad is that we're sacrificing the Saints for the Pels to win a championship. So my question to you is, if it meant a Pels championship, what is the number of years of, just abysmal Saints seasons that you'd be willing to deal with for a Pels championship?
Man.
I've had this conversation with a couple of my buddies.
I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Like,
here.
we've got deep into it, too. Like, I'll have some follow-up questions depending on what you say.
I'll be honest, man. Infinite. Like I've seen I've seen a Saints Super Bowl. I can die a happy man
Infinite?
knowing I've seen
Oh,
a Saints
no.
Super Bowl.
I don't know.
I would trade
For one
here's
champion.
the thing.
One Pels championship.
Well, okay, I guess there's some nuances then. You make a good point.
One Pels.
Like, do the Pels fall off after that? Like, are they just
That's the
irrelevant
thing. So
after that?
The deeper part of this conversation, I guess, would be if you could be.
Do they pull a Lakers?
So let's say this. You can either have. So for a championship, one championship, what are you willing to give up? And then I'll give you my next scenario.
What am I willing to give up? You mean
Saints
name my price? That's
Saints
not how you
wise.
negotiate.
Saints, I don't give a shit.
What am I willing to give up Saints wise? I'd give up 5 years.
5 years of just, abysmal.
Oh
Like-
yeah, I'm
like
talking
top,
2 and
Yeah,
16,
all
2,
right.
2 and 15. How many games we play now? Who
I
fucking
can live
knows?
with that. I can live with 5 years. Now, what would you give up for maybe a championship, but you get to be like peak, guaranteed like peak Trailblazers of like Damon, CJ, top 4 seed in the West.
So just like a really good
and
team,
maybe a championship.
competitive every year. What would I give up for that?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to name that. Like I want that. I would take that. I'd give up a couple years.
For whatever reason, it seems like we can't have both the Saints and the Pels.
Yeah, no, it's funny. It's funny you mentioned that because I don't remember who tweeted it. I think it was actually Devin, but it was like said Tulane wins, LSU wins, somebody else wins, and he was like, Saints gonna win on Sunday to complete the cycle. And in the back of my head, I was like, that ain't gonna happen. I
No,
don't know
my
if you know it or not,
grandma
but
and I have had this like running thing for a long, long time now, where when like LSU and Tulane would both win, we knew the Saints were going to lose.
yeah, it's a given.
It doesn't happen for whatever reason, man. But LSU is just an average team this year. The Saints suck. Now Tulane's the best team in college football.
Fuck yeah. We'll get into that in a little while.
It might be the year of the Pels.
I hope it's.
It might be the year of the Pels.
You know, that reminds me because there's a lot of things, Pels, I wanted to talk about. I have stuff written down, but I'm just gonna go off the dome. Does it bother you a little bit? I tweeted about this earlier. Does it bother you that the national media, or really just all media in general, not only went from like totally like dogging the shit out of the team, talking bad about the team, and now all of a sudden they're like, oh, they're Stephen A. specifically is like, oh, they're potentially the top seed. they could go to the finals, blah, blah, blah. Just talking them up so big. Even last night, like, yeah, they threw some shade, but, like, those guys were just – it was a love fest pregame about the Pels. Now, in-game,
I don't want your love.
I don't either.
It's how much, like, national stuff do you watch?
Not a lot.
I literally don't. I don't watch TV.
Yeah.
And except for, like, watching a game on the TV, I don't watch TV. I'll see – the only thing I ever see is clips on Twitter. So I'll see, like, first take clips. I'll see – Good Morning Football, whatever it is, clips.
Okay.
But I don't watch TV, so I don't. And it's for that reason, because I hate it.
Yeah.
Like, either they don't talk about us at all when we're good, or they're shitting on us, or it's aggravating.
Not to go, and I feel like everybody knows this. Not to go in too deep on that subject, but I feel like that has just become a thing over the last decade. Ever since the Stephen A. and Skip thing, like all national shows are basically just trying to redo that. Hot takes, crazy talk. They talk out of their rear end 99% of the time.
And most of the shows seem to have, like, one person that I like. Like, when it's a pair, like Skip and Shannon, I like Shannon. Can't stand Skip. Stephen A., I don't even know who's with him anymore. I think it's like a rotating thing, I guess.
Yeah, so it's because his ego is too large to let anyone else stay on the show with him. Anyways, I'm not going to.
Yeah, anyway, you were saying.
But it definitely bothers me. That's one thing I was getting at. It bothers me to just watch national media now just completely fall in love with the belt. Like, are we too good for it? Probably not. Like, eventually, if they're going to be a good team, then, like, it's going to happen. But, like, don't say it now so you can say I told you so when 3 months ago you were, like, talking so much shit about this team, about Zion's weight, about him wanting out of New Orleans. Like, just come on. Stay away.
Give it time. I mean, inevitably, we're going to have a week or we're going to have a down month. Something is going to happen where, you go through a rough patch. Every team does it. And they'll jump ship as soon as they can.
Oh, for sure.
It doesn't matter how good we've been to that point. They'll jump ship immediately.
Yeah, let us start 1-12 again. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Outside of that, there's so many Pelicans topics though. I mean, how do you feel? There's a lot of takeaways just from last night's game, right? I mean, obviously Brandon Ingram doesn't play, so you don't get the full effect. But I saw a lot of good. I mean,
one thing you tweeted that, and I was talking to my buddy about it as we were sitting there watching. There's too many good players on this team.
Yeah.
There's legit.
Can you have too many good
players? But there's. Yeah. Is Garrett Temple the only person that doesn't deserve minutes?
No, there's more. There's definitely more.
I mean, so who else is going to be on the?
Well, Najee's not going to play. Najee shouldn't play.
I think he will to start the season.
Najee. I like what Najee has done for us in the past. Like I love that he's been here for a while and
he'll get some minutes to start the season, I think.
Oh,
and then
for sure.
And then Dyson, I think, is the one that kind of. I think that's where Dyson's minutes are going to come from.
Dyson's going to eat up all those minutes.
But you think about it. You had all those people playing. Now, I'm not talking about, like, people that played in the fourth and Sebron and all of them, but you got Kyra's not back.
Right.
And one thing I've said is that, like, it's really the guards is what it is, where all the talent is. The front court guys are going to get playing time. I mean, there's only, 3-4 of them, maybe.
Even that, it's tough, right? It's really your wings. It's not even your guard. Like, your guards, but, like, it's your wings in general. And then in the modern NBA, like, the players you have that play wing will also play the five. So, like, even your bigs are going to lose minutes. Like, just naturally, the way the rotation is going to flow, like, how deep does your rotation go? It's going to be interesting for Willie and, like, how he decides to approach it.
Yeah.
How deep his rotation is. Does he go with that 10-man or, you know what I mean?
Like, it'll be deep in the regular season. When it gets tough is going to be playoffs because your rotation gets down to 7-8 players in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if they have 10 legit players that deserve minutes, I mean, you give it to them. But that's one thing I was thinking about is, like, Kyra's still not back, and you got to imagine they want to get him real minutes. They got to make a decision on him.
Yeah.
Soon.
I would agree. I think it's going to be interesting. I think that you're gonna see. I think it's competition. Like, you're gonna see a lot of friendly competition, and I think that Willie's going to end up playing I hope that Willie's going to end up playing the guys that deserve to play, the guys that are the hot hand, or hopefully he's got that sense. I trust him based off last year, seeing his rotations. He wasn't afraid to make changes.
No.
Yes, he played tempo more than I would have liked last year, but when it came down to it, he ended up going with the right folks. So,
yeah. And I mean, you got I saw people already complaining about Devontae still being over Jose.
I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely can play together, number one. Number two, Devontae's a guy you want to be hot. You want Devontae to have a good season. And I mentioned it. I think he's going to be able to play his six-man role that he's meant to play this year.
Right. I also think, to go to the Jose thing a little bit, he's a phenomenal player. And, yes, I want him to have as many minutes as possible. But at the same time, I think that, I don't know if Willie thinks this way, but the way I look at him, the style of play he has, just full go all the time, I want him to be able to do that every minute of every second that he's in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you play him 30 minutes, well, it's never going to happen, but if you play him, a good share of minutes, can he play like that for that full game? It's going to be difficult. I do think Jose's very underrated, though, or maybe properly rated, and we just don't. He doesn't see the love, but
no, he deserves the minutes. I think people just need to let it play out. Forget what happened last year. This is a totally different team. Even though it's mostly the same players, this team is going to be completely different just by dropping Zion back in. So forget what you saw last year, even from guys like Devontae who had a bad year. I mean, if he plays like he did last night all season, that's worth whatever.
Well, and you know what? You say he had a bad year last year, and look, there was a lot of negatives, a lot of negative feelings about his play last year, right? But if you look at the first half of the season, he had some pretty good games.
Mm-hmm.
He played pretty well. He had some big shots.
That's one thing he definitely was good at, is hitting shots when it mattered most. I agree. Yeah, I don't like you saying, there's a lot of people that deserve minutes. Willie looked good. He wasn't somebody that played a lot last year. He seems to have taken a step.
Yeah, that's
forward.
The thing. He doesn't get minutes though. He's not going to get minutes.
He can't. Yeah, I don't know. He can't, I guess. But I mean, there wasn't a single main player that didn't look good last night.
Right.
Jackson looked good.
Does Jax get minutes?
I think so, because he's another one that either you're trying to make a decision. If you're trying to make a decision on somebody whether to keep him, you gotta want to see him, and if not, he's trade bait.
I think he's trade bait. I'd be surprised, but I mean, you're in a good position either way.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the good thing is they have all these players that are really, really good. The amount of different lineups you can throw out there is going to be awesome to see. There's lineups where you just got Zion surrounded by four shooters.
Yeah.
You could have a really good big lineup of, that includes Zion, Jose, and Larry for some reason. You can match up.
For some reason. Who knows? Fuck it. Just throw something out there to work.
You can match up with anybody. It's going to be fun.
It's interesting. Sure. Watching the game last night, I was thinking that because they're talking about who's on the floor, and I'm watching how well the ball's moving and how well everybody's playing. And you had Trey and B.I. sitting on the bench, and they play the same position. Najee got the start, and everybody's talking about the rotation on the floor. You got two guys that are eating up a lot of minutes sitting on the bench, not even playing last night. So, I don't know. I think it's going to be very interesting moving forward. Also, to go further into a lot that happened last night, there's so much. I know you touched on it. Zion looked phenomenal. Passing, finishing, defense.
His first step has not it hasn't taken a step back at all, and it might be quicker.
I don't know if it's quicker, but it's definitely just as fast.
I mean, honestly, the best thing about him last night, he had a smile. Even when he turned the ball over, had the biggest smile on his face.
Yeah, some of those. There was an offensive foul called on him. That smile was more of oh yeah, okay.
It's just, and he said, that 20 minutes he had was slight work, that he feels good.
Yeah. So,
the block was not goaltending.
No, that was no.
I don't know. I really don't know if it was, but just because it was an awesome play, just don't call it. Let it go.
I hate feeling like a homer. I mean, that ball might have been coming down. I don't know, but it was
I have
quick.
no idea.
Whatever. It's Zion. Let that go. Like, that's a beautiful block. Let it go. It's close enough to let that be a highlight play. It's the NBA. You're the referee. You know how that works.
Yeah. I think Herb was the most impressive guy to me last night.
Yeah, I was gonna say Herb looked great. I was just about to say that.
He looks like he's got a new level of confidence in his shot. If he gets a legit offensive game, that's scary.
So Herb already had a. So I love Herb Jones.
He had a good offensive game, but if he wasn't, he's not a scorer by.
No, like he's not a guy that's gonna break you down off the dribble and go crazy. He's not gonna be dropping 20 a game, but like he is the quintessential 3-and-D guard who's also got a phenomenal basketball IQ and can pass pretty well. Like, he is exactly what you want out of that position. And if he's going to hit the three the way he did last night, holy shit.
I just like how aggressive he was.
Yeah.
It was too. That's the thing. That was something else I liked about Dyson. Even when his shot wasn't falling, like it didn't affect any other aspect of his game. He was still trying to score.
Dyson looked phenomenal, man. I said it before the game. I don't think I said it on. I might have said it on Twitter, but I know I said it in our group chat, and I was just like, Dyson's going to command playing time. Like, there's no way he sits the bench. He will start eating up minutes very soon.
Yeah.
Like, I don't see how they don't play him, and I came into the game thinking that, and then watched him play, and he was better than I expected. Like, just his IQ through the roof, knowing where to go with the ball. Knowing how the defense was playing him and who to go to in certain positions.
He's Lonzo.
He's who we wanted Lonzo to be.
Yeah.
For the most part. I mean, his three's not there.
His shot is still his shot's about as broke as Lonzo's was when he got here. I don't know if it's as bad, but
I know the Lonzo conversation is always interesting because the stands ruin everything, right? Lonzo's three ball I will never disrespect. Like, when he was with the Lakers, it was terrible.
Yeah.
But here, he was one of the best.
Once he got here and Fred Vincent worked with him, it looked great. And that's what's going to happen with Dyson. And I feel confident saying that anybody that's had a jacked up shot, or everybody's shot, really has gotten better since they've gotten here because of him. So,
yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, that dude's a miracle worker. I don't know how he does it, but
the only thing that disappointed me last night is CJ's free throw shooting. Yeah. I'm over it, man.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I do not understand how somebody who can shoot as well as he can is so bad at shooting free throws. It's got to be a mental thing. It has to be. It frustrates the hell out of me.
I genuinely don't understand it either. And there was one of them, because I thought it too. He missed one, and then later there was the technical or whatever, and he took the technical free throw. And he missed the technical free throw so bad.
Why does he shoot the techs?
I think that Willie just does that to get people in a rhythm, like, or just for fun. I don't know. Willie's always kind of picked weird people.
Who ends up with a worse free throw percentage, him or Zion?
Him.
You think so?
Yeah,
I agree.
So.
No, I agree.
Think so.
Because Zion, I think, missed one last night.
Yeah.
If Zion shooting 75% free throws, ain't nothing you can do with that.
If they call the fouls.
Yeah, no, that's
a whole nother thing. Zion gets officiated, or he used to get officiated so crazy. Hopefully he's got superstar.
He keeps showing up with an MJ earring, man. Maybe he'll get the superstar calls.
Yo, I know, right? Dude. No, but CJ missed that technical free throw so bad, so poorly. It has to be a mental thing. It was like to the left. He bricked it like it was like flat off. I don't know. It was the weirdest thing ever. Like, as a shooter, how?
And I guess I never watched him that much in Portland, at least not to this degree. Like, has he always been a bad free throw shooter? Is my question. I'd have to go back and
percentage-wise, like, he's never been a great free throw shooter. I'll say that much.
But dude, he feels like he's like 70-something%.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. It's pretty rough.
Yeah. But that's the only downside. So.
Yeah. So, anyways, undefeated, championship bound. Light work. It's fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
If they introduce the end game season, like, we'll win that too, or in-game tournament, we'll win that too. It's fine.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We're not homers for saying that, right?
Flock up.
Flock up. Somebody's put something on Twitter. I can't remember what it was, but that was hilarious. Something like that. Anyways, what else you got?
Going back to the hurricane for a minute.
Yeah.
In 2022, do we still have to have these reporters out there like that?
No.
Is that necessary?
No.
I watched Jim Cantori, whatever the hell his name is, get smacked by a flying tree. What are we doing, bro? Get these people off the street.
Well,
like I don't understand it.
a lot of that is they're playing it up. Like a lot of it's not as dangerous as they look, and they're definitely
The tree
playing
was
it
pretty
up.
fucking real.
But I saw the Jim Cantori thing you're talking about. I was like, good Lord, man! Like somebody throw that thing at him.
No, I mean it's obviously he wants to be out there. Like they're not saying, "Hey, you have to go out into this Cat 5, 4, whatever it was, and do this." Like he probably lives for those moments. But hang it up, bro. Like we don't need
Man's
it.
nuts.
We do not need that anymore.
How old is Jim Cantori now?
I don't know. I didn't know who he was until we had the hurricane last year.
Really?
Really? I had
That
no idea.
man, that man's been a celebrity for years. Well, not a celebrity, but like, I can remember as a kid, like before Katrina, if you heard Jim Cantori was coming to town, you're
Yeah.
like, oh shit.
They actually put the sign up on the causeway last year. Like when we were getting one of the hurricanes, they were like, "Jim Cantori, stay away." But
Damn, that was a big old spider. Y'all didn't see that. Pardon me, I'm a freak out. I'm gonna burn this whole place
yeah,
down.
I'm just, you know how it is when a hurricane's coming. That's all that's on your TV for the entire 2-3 day stretch,
Oh yeah.
and it was just
Especially when you're in it.
yeah,
Like,
just like, man, like go inside. I don't understand. Like this poor woman just sitting out there getting smacked by wind and rain.
yeah.
Like,
and
just
then,
go inside. That's all. That's all I got to say about that.
And then Twitter will kill people for like not doing what they feel like is the right thing. You saw the reporter who like filmed the kitty cat or whatever outside,
Yeah.
little kitten.
Yeah, and then they're out there with condoms on their microphones.
Yeah.
Like,
What?
I don't understand what's happening in this day and age, but whatever, man. That was all. I mean, nothing sports related at all. I just I've had a lot of time to think about these things over the
I
past
bet.
2 weeks.
You sitting in a tiny hotel room for 24
Man.
hours, whatever it was. You know, do we want to talk about this? The Saints are bad. The Saints are bad.
They're a bad team.
You want to talk about that?
We can briefly touch on it, I guess.
All right. So I saw a stat, and I think it's outdated now. I think it was just at the time when I saw it because I saw an article you put out that actually is a slightly different stat, which is close to this. They lead the NFL in giveaways and in penalties, or at least they did. I think they might be second in one of those categories right now.
We're
but-
second in penalties.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, we may be up there and we got to be in the top in giveaways, man. That's a fumble 4 straight weeks.
Yeah. I know after Sunday's game that morning, granted, I mean, there's games that happen after that. We were like number one in giveaways.
Trevor Lawrence fumbled 4 times in a game.
Yeah.
So maybe they
took the spot.
They took the spot.
I don't know.
Yeah, man, it's disgusting.
So I guess, I mean, obviously everybody in the world didn't read your article, but tell me what you think it is.
I think it's coaching.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just coaching. It's you got. I know everybody's arguing over who should be the quarterback, and I think both Jameis and Andy have. You can make an argument for both of them.
Yeah, I agree. I have a thought on that. I'll say it in a second.
They both had. I mean, we haven't really seen it from Jameis yet this year, besides that 1 fourth quarter. But we've seen it in the past. They've both had solid moments. They both had down moments. So for people to be like a stan of either one of them right now is weird. But what I'm saying is, one reason is bad quarterback play.
Yeah.
You've had bad offensive line play at times. First game, defense didn't look all that great. They've turned it around since then. It's just there's a mixture of different things, but I think, like you're saying, penalties and turnovers are the biggest things, and that's coaching.
Yeah.
That's coaching.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I mean, you
Especially penalties.
You see the penalties. The penalties are what get me. And then, I didn't realize we led the league in turn. I knew we turned the ball over a lot. I didn't realize.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, until I saw that stat and I was like, well, that makes a lot of sense. Like I'm one of those guys. Like, you ask me why a team loses a game, the first thing I look at is the turnover margin. Yeah. Like, if you turn the ball over, you're not going to win the game.
It's specific penalties too. Like, if it was a bunch of pass interferences, I guess that's coaching, but it's that's more the player and his technique, which is coaching. But you know what I mean?
Right.
We're talking horrible like delay games, false starts. There was it? I don't remember what week it was, but
12 men on the field 1 week.
Yeah, out of a timeout.
Right.
Like what
on third down or something like that.
What are
like,
we doing, man? And then the fake punt that they converted, that's coaching. Like, I just don't. It doesn't. I don't know. That's what it is to me. I think it's coaching, and I don't know that can be fixed.
I totally agree. It's definitely a concern. I mean, I don't want to write it off yet. I mean, the team. Listen, we've all talked about it. Like, the team has a lot of talent. I know there's some concern right now about Michael Thomas and his injury. There's some whispers that it may be a lot worse. I don't know if you saw that. It may be a lot worse than what they're leading on, which we've seen that story before.
But this year is different than last year. Without Michael Thomas, you still have more than enough on offense.
For sure. And to touch on, I wanted to talk about it, to touch on the quarterback thing. I mean, first of all, stands are weird. So if you come at me being a fan of either guy, for whatever reason, like, just stay away. Let's talk about the team and, like, what's actually happening. But
both of us, to clarify, just want the best player that's going, or not even word it that way. We want the player that's going to win us games. Yeah. I don't care if it's Jameis. I don't care if it's Dalton. If Ian Book suddenly got
that ain't gonna happen.
Fucking struck by the grace of God and was given the skills of Peyton Manning. I don't care. Like,
Ian Book plays for the Eagles now, doesn't he?
I don't know.
Jake Luton's
somebody.
Doesn't matter.
Somebody.
Taysom Hill can finally figure out how to throw the ball. If that happens,
we can run. Shit. We can call Ricky Williams back and run the Dolphins Wildcat for all I care. Like, let's go. But anyway, go ahead.
But no, so neither, like, to your point, neither guy has really stood out to me. And both guys kind of give you something different, right? Like, Jameis gives you that big play ability. You hope you can stretch the field. You want to put up big numbers. Whereas Andy Dalton gives you that quick, but not really going to throw the ball deep. So it's kind of like,
right.
It's either or. Watching Andy Dalton last week, I thought he looked okay. The offense moved. Like, it's kind of like, I was talking to a friend of mine who's not a fan of the Saints, and his argument was, do you take the 15 5-yard passes, or do you take the 5 20-yard pass, or whatever it is, the 5 bombs? Like, which one do you want? I was like, well, I don't really know. Do the 15 5-yard passes result in, like, 3 drives that get in the end zone? Because maybe I take that. Do the 5 bombs get in the end zone? Maybe I take, like, I don't know. Which ones get me points?
You take the ones that get you points throughout the game.
Right.
Not just sporadically.
Right. So, and there's an argument to be made that, like, if you're going 3 and out every drive and bombing it and throwing incompletions, that you never get in a rhythm, and then, like, you can't really run an offense. But there's also an argument that, like, if you're dinking and dunking, like, you're not getting anywhere. So, I don't know. All I know is I watched Drew Brees dink and dunk for years, and it worked. So I think that there is a bias in my head towards that at times. But I'll say this. I haven't seen Andy Dalton do anything to show me he should be the starting quarterback, and I haven't seen Jameis Winston do anything to show me he should stay the starting quarterback. So it's kind of like,
I'd like one more week of Andy.
I mean, I'd be okay with it.
See,
it also gives Jameis the opportunity to heal up.
Yeah.
Andy sucks. Jameis comes back.
And Minnesota's one of the worst defenses to this point in the season. Seattle's not much better, but I want to see if Andy can put 2, because he had a good game. He had mistakes, of course. He had missed opportunities.
Fucking ballerina one play and fumbled the ball.
Well, like you were saying, I mean, so he lacks the big play. There was the one up the sideline where he tried to hit Olave and it didn't reach him. That's a play that's probably a touchdown with Jameis.
Yeah.
But there's also other plays throughout the game where he's hitting the little middle of the field 5-6 yards plays that Jameis hasn't been hitting.
Right.
And that's my problem. Like, you can ride or die for Jameis if you want, but you can't debate that he's missing, and maybe not missing them. He's just choosing to go for the big play, the bigger play all the time.
Yeah.
Is what it seems to be happening.
Listen.
And that's not debatable. And sometimes it works.
Sometimes it does. And regardless of who's back there, like, quarterbacks are going to miss guys, right? Like, Andy Dalton missed a wide open Troutman again. Like, if the argument is, oh, Jameis never sees Troutman, well, Andy Dalton missed him last week too.
Yeah.
Like, it happens. Quarterbacks are going to lock in on guys, or they're not going to see certain reads. It's just, it is what it is. Not every quarterback is Drew Brees or Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers or whoever. Yeah. Pick a name, right? Pick a Hall of Fame name. And we have been spoiled in that sense. I think you just want to see some semblance of an offense that can move the damn ball. That's it. Whether it's running the ball, like we ran the ball pretty well a couple times, and then we fumbled. Like that's an issue. That's an area of concern. Address that shit. Like there's all these things that need to be fixed, whether it's quarterback or other areas. Like I don't know. That's my take.
Yeah, like you said, I really don't want to pick a side of either one. I will say it was a lot easier to watch the game, the offense on Sunday, than it has been.
Is that because we're playing the Vikings though?
Right,
Like,
that's what I'm saying.
question.
I don't know, but if Dalton, that's what I'm saying. I want another week of Dalton. At this point, you might as well. I mean, you got nothing to lose. Like, let's see who's the better option. If you go back to Jameis, you go back to Jameis. Like, there is no harm in giving Dalton another shot. If he's bad, then he's bad and we lose another game. We're already a bad team. You know what I mean? It's like, I mean, and then the NFC South, not that great.
No,
the NFC, not that great. You got some wiggle room now.
You got the Falcons and the Bucks tied for first in the NFC South, which, I mean, the Bucks, I guess I expected that, but the Falcons have kind of surprised me a little bit. They look better than what I thought they would. Mariota, while he isn't, like, good, is just kind of, like, holding shit together there, it seems. Their defense looks okay. They can run the ball. Like, not to talk about the Falcons that much, but.
Oh, yeah, that situation is playing out so perfect for the Falcons. He's playing just good enough for people not to be clamoring for them to put in Desmond Ridder, because I don't think they want to play him right now.
I don't think they do either, but I was going to say, is that playing into their favor or is it not? Because, like, maybe the coaching staff's favor, but, like, I think as an overall team, like, you're not going to go anywhere with Mariota as your quarterback. Like, you need to see.
No, but you got Desmond Ridder locked up for a little while.
Yeah.
You don't need to see him right now.
No.
And if you put him in now and he's not ready, and it could mess him up for his.
That goes to the argument of, like, do you let a guy sit to get ready? How does he get ready? Or do you just throw him in there and let him learn under fire? Like, it depends what, like, mindset you have, I guess, but
yeah. I don't know.
I think, in my opinion, if you can play quarterback, you can play quarterback. You don't need an extra year to figure out how to play quarterback.
Yeah, but it is. I mean, it's a different speed. You're not figuring out how to play quarterback. You're figuring out how to play quarterback in the NFL.
Reps are reps, though. Like, I'm a believer of, like go learn. Peyton Manning's first year, he was awful.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying, but I mean, some guys, like, I don't want to call them weak, but mentally, they just if some guys had the first season that Peyton Manning had, that there's no bouncing back from that.
I'm so cutthroat. I hate it. Sometimes I don't realize how, like, overly competitive and, like, downright, like, mean I can get when it comes to sports. Like, even when I would coach, like, if you're weak-minded and you can't handle that, maybe quarterback is not the position for you. Go play wide receiver or whatever. And if you can't run, then maybe you should just don't play. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Go kick.
What do you say?
No, probably maybe not. I don't know.
As my son's getting older, like, he's gonna be 3, so he's getting another 2 years or whatever. He'll be able to play sports, and I'm like, it'd be cool to coach him. But then I start thinking to myself,
no, it wouldn't.
No, it'd be cool to coach him. I don't want to coach other people's kids.
No, dude,
because I can't do it. Like you said,
it's interesting. I think that if you did it, you would find you're harder on your own child.
Oh,
that's why I said it wouldn't be cool. Because, like, I purposely didn't coach my son because when I did, even, like, one-on-one, I found myself being, like, too hard. And I think that when it comes to children, that's a whole different ballgame. Like, we're talking NFL guys. Like, I'll go hard on an adult. Like, if you suck, you suck. Maybe the same for you.
Yeah.
A child, I think that you do need to kind of mold them and build their confidence first, because if you don't, then they're never going to be good anyway. So, like, that's kind of a self-esteem.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's a whole different conversation, but yeah, I don't know. I found that if I tried to coach my son when he was young, I was a little too hard on him, and I actually had to take a step back and, like, purposely would not coach his teams, and I would let his coaches coach him, and then I would just, like, kind of fold in sometimes, be like, hey man, like, this is what I'm seeing, and then I would just let him take it or not take it. Like,
yeah,
just go from there.
The only somewhat experience I've ever had with that because, like, I mean, you got your son who's older, but my brother is a freshman in high school now, so there's a pretty big gap between me and him. So I got to watch him play. All he's ever played is baseball. He's pretty good. He's starting pitcher for his high school team now, but kind of like you're saying, it was he didn't always have good coaches.
Yeah.
So they give him bad coaching, but it is kind of that thing where like he's listening to him and he's taking coaching. You don't want to go behind the coach's back and be like, this, you know what I mean? And so, I mean, it'd be different for me in different sports. Like baseball, I was okay at baseball, but I never think I'd be good enough to go behind the coach and correct something if my son's playing baseball. But like football, if a coach told him something that I was like, that's just stupid, like I'd have to correct it, and then I don't need him going out there and doing what I told him. And, you know what I mean? It's gonna be tough for me. I'm very interested to see how I handle him growing up and playing sports if he's into them.
I think that you'll probably tell your son when something's stupid. You'll be like, hey, dude, don't do that.
Oh,
here's what you should do.
At least for a while. And we'll see how it plays out.
I totally did that. He would be like, yeah, well, my coach said this. And I'd be like,
the question is, does my son tell him that I told him they're stupid?
Be like, hey, man, I get your coach told you that, but here's what I would do. Don't do that.
Yeah.
But I also like to think that I'm open-minded. I like to think that, when I don't know something, I know that I don't know something. So, like, if it's not an area I'm like, super confident in or really know what I'm talking about, like, I'm 100%. Not going to be like, hey, your coach is stupid.
That's definitely something I like to think that, like, I can admit where my weaknesses are.
Right.
For sure. So, like I just said, I know I'm not that good at baseball. So, if somebody, even if it's a coach that I don't know is that good, probably better than me because I'm not that good. So
it's interesting. So how old is your son right now? He's about to be 4, right?
He'll be 3. Next,
That's right.
On the 10th.
I was thinking, as weird as it sounds, I was looking at his birthday's coming up. I was looking at the party invite the other day and thinking of what size he wears. So I was like thinking he was 4. Anyways,
he's just a big kid.
Yeah,
he's big for his size or for his age.
The reason I was asking is because you mentioned he was going to be playing. Is there a sport you would like him to gravitate towards, or like I know that like as a parent you try to let them decide what they want, but there's something in your mind where you're like, oh man, like
if I had to pick one, how did you care if your son played football health-wise, like for those kind of things?
Oh man, I didn't. Now I do. When I was younger, now I had Christopher when I was young. I was 20 when I found out my ex or his mom was pregnant, and it was just kind of one of those things. But I was kind of figuring out how to be a parent as a young person, and I played football as a kid through high school. So I just looked at it as like, oh, it's, it is what it is. Now I would never tell him like he can't play, but in the back of my mind, it's like, I'm going to watch you a little closely. And like, if I see any issues, like I'm probably going to.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say this. I truly believe by the time my son is, so he's 3 now, by the time he's really getting into sports, I think flag football is going to be a major thing.
It already is.
But I think there'll be multiple, not to say he'll ever get to a professional level, but there'll be multiple professional flag football leagues, I think, which will trickle down to, I mean, Drew Brees has his thing.
Yeah.
So you'll see more like that. So maybe he gravitates towards that. It'll kind of depend on, like, how he fills out. Like, if he's a bigger kid, then I'll be a little bit more okay with it. But, like, my brother is tiny, and he lives in Mobile where every kid down there is monstrous. So, just in Alabama. So he was always the smallest kid on his team. He played football for 1 year, and he hated it. It was tough for us to watch him because, number one, he would make tackles. Like, he wasn't afraid to play, but he'd make tackles and stop to help the kids up. He just wasn't built for it. But if I had to pick one, probably football, just because it's my favorite sport.
Yeah. But
maybe basketball. My hope is that, or what I want him to do is play everything once.
Yeah.
Just try everything once. I mean, that's what I did. I played everything: soccer, baseball, and if he likes it, will stick with it. I mean, I rotated through everything for up until I was like 10 years old. I played every sport.
Yeah.
So
Same.
that's what I want him to do. Because I mean,
soccer.
And number one, I mean, like if he really likes baseball, the other sports make you better at baseball.
Yeah.
I mean, there's all kinds of studies that show it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I want. That's what I really want is for him to try everything. And if he doesn't like any of them, he don't have to play any of them. You know.
It's funny. There's a reason I asked that, and I'll get to that in a second. But it's funny because my son's the same way. He doesn't really play sports at all. Well, he does, but like, I'll tell you why. When he was younger, he played everything. Like, and it wasn't even that I was like, hey, you have to play every sport. It was just kind of like, I would like you to be involved in something year round. It doesn't have to be sports, just whatever it is. Just I need you doing something.
Yeah.
So he would choose sports, and he would play football, or he played flag football first, actually, before he played tackle. And he would play basketball, and he would play soccer and baseball and everything. Baseball, he's by far the best at out of all of them. But basketball is his favorite. And my son is 13 now, and he's 5 foot tall, and a little chubbier, not like overweight, but like a little chubbier. And he goes to a good private school. I'm not going to put a bunch of like personal information out there because as I'm saying it, I'm realizing his mom might kill me if she finds out I say where he goes to school, what his name is, how old he is. Like, it's not a good idea, guys. But he tried out for the basketball team, and he was so heartbroken because he didn't make it.
Yeah.
And he told me he was going to try out for the basketball team. And I didn't have the heart to tell him before he tried out, like, hey, man, you're not going to make that team. Because I'm trying to do this whole, like I said, confidence building thing. Like, yeah. I want him to kind of, like, think he's great at everything. Because Lord knows I thought I was great at everything, and it turned out good for me. But he didn't make the team. And he was really heartbroken. And I didn't know how to handle it because it was like in my head, I was like, dude, you're just, the way you're built isn't great for high school basketball.
My brother went through the same thing, playing baseball. Like, he was on his park teams, his travel team, the all-star team. Like, he was always one of the better players. But he's finally hit a little growth spurt now that he's, just in time for getting to high school. But he was always the smallest, like skin and bones, smallest on the team. But he was at that age, if you're like a smart player and you know what to do with the ball, you stand out on your team.
Yeah.
So he was always one of the better ones on his team. But then when his first year he tried out for his junior high team, even though he was better than some of the kids, but he wasn't, like, he couldn't hit the ball far enough because he wasn't strong enough, and he didn't make the team. And he was like, and he was not in like a cocky way, like he knew he was better than some of them, and he didn't understand why. And I had to sit down with him and be like, look, give it time, because he got to that point where he's like, I don't know if I want to play anymore. Like, if I can't make a team, why do I want to play? And I had to tell him, like, I threw the whole Michael Jordan didn't make his there you go, his team, whatever, you know what I mean? And I just explained to him, like, dude, you're gonna hit a little growth spurt at some point. You'll get a little stronger, and you'll get there. Like, but it was tough to, because he was like legit sad.
Oh yeah,
that he didn't make it. I was like, that's like, it crushed me to see it.
Yeah, dude, because it's tough. Because like when they like genuinely care about something, like you want them to succeed and get that joy out of it. And when they find out that just physically people look at them like they're inferior just because of the way they're built, like,
right,
it's tough. Like, how do you handle that? There's nothing you can do, buddy. I'm sorry. Like, this is who you are, and like, you can't all of a sudden make yourself grow 6 inches. Like, it is what it is. But on top of that, before this tryout even happened, I've been preaching to my son from a young age, because he's always been a shorter kid and he's always loved basketball. Work on your handles. Like, just continue to work on your handles. If you can dribble through a crowd at 12 years old with like extremely good handles, you'll stand out. Like, but he did not work on his handles. He thinks he's Steph Curry. He just pulls threes, and I'm like, dude, like, well, he could shoot.
Every kid thinks they're Steph Curry.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, like, you got to learn to dribble. Like,
that's funny.
So, but no. Anyways, that was a fun topic.
That was not on my list of things to talk about.
No, it's just, that's how it goes sometimes. We just get to talking. We've probably been talking for a while too.
It's
Not
we're
that
at
we
like
need
50 minutes already.
to- yeah, I was gonna say not that we need to like wrap it up,
Yeah.
but we should probably head the direction.
Real quick, speaking of baseball,
Yeah.
thank God that Aaron Judge hit 62 because I was over it, man.
I was so over it.
You know what? And I don't like the Yankees at all, but I do like Aaron Judge as a player.
Yeah.
I was starting to turn on Aaron Judge,
Yeah.
and it wasn't him. Obviously, it wasn't him doing it, but all the cut-ins were getting so frustrating. The cut-ins mixed with everybody on the arguments on Twitter about what's the real record, what's not the real record. I was really starting to turn on Aaron Judge.
Well, I think we're in agreement here either way. 62 is not the record. So
No, not the. He did break a record, but he didn't break the record.
for the AL, I guess you could say.
And I hate my buddy.
Who cares?
My buddy lives in Dallas, and they were at the Rangers game, not the one he broke it at. They were there the day before, and I was like, hey man, Judge is coming to town. I was like, y'all going? He's like, yeah, I'm gonna get to see him break the record. I was like, yeah, I think it's kind of overrated. Kind of overrated moment in history. And he was like, overrated? He's like, he's like, I know how much you love baseball. Like, you think you're a person that thinks 73 is the record? I was like, yeah, I think 73 is the record.
73 is the record.
And I'm like, and he was like, well, it's the AL record. I was like, who cares? In what other sport do we celebrate? We don't celebrate NFC touchdown passes.
No, we don't.
We don't celebrate Western Conference points. Like, what are we doing? You know, if Aaron Judge played for the Royals, would this be as big of a deal?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Like, probably. Well, no, it wouldn't because it would be the Royals. But I think it would still be a big deal. Like, people would still be.
This is it's a Yankees thing to me, is what it is. It's just people are just trying. It was the first chance they had to like rewrite history. But what's weird is, I guess because he was NL, but 2017 Stanton got to 59, and I mean he wouldn't have broken a record until he got to 73 because it's NL. But he still could have gotten to 62, which is what some people consider the record. But he wasn't getting this hype train that
I was gonna say Stanton was never like a media darling though. Like Aaron Judge is like a media darling. Like the media loves him
because he's in New York.
Yeah, and that has a lot to do with it. A lot of the time too. That's another reason why people won't address this. Well, people will, but like yes, people call into account the steroid thing when it comes to Bonds. The media is just dragging Bonds because they've always hated him. He's never got along with the media. Like they're not gonna talk good about the guy. Like they're gonna continue to just drag him every chance they get.
Yeah, did the media love any of those guys? I mean, that's a little bit earlier than, like, I really started to care about baseball with McGuire, with the three of them.
Yeah, even McGuire, like, no, he didn't get along with a lot of guys.
Sosa's kind of a goofball. Like,
yeah,
he just weird. He's just a weird guy.
I think he's got some medical issue now too. I know that he had some work done, but he's also like now he's like pale, like he's white. I don't know what's going on with him. It's weird to see. I'm like, damn, man. Like,
I heard somebody say that people were trying to whitewash Sammy Sosa, and they said they don't need to because he did it himself.
Jesus, man. No, I don't know if that's what is it? What's it called? There's a
I don't know.
I don't know.
But yeah, no, 70.
I don't want to make fun of any.
73 is the record
condition.
Because the MLB says 73 is the record. Major League Baseball was embracing steroids until like the government cared about it one time. Then it became a big deal. But Major League Baseball wanted the steroid era because it brought action and money.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
It brought relevance to baseball.
If they didn't want 73 to be the record, 73 wouldn't be the record.
I don't care. I genuinely
don't care. Either.
I know, like, this goes back to conversations we've had before. Baseball purists suck.
Absolutely.
Get over it.
Baseball is not in the position to be arguing over, like, against entertainment.
I think the thing that bothers me is they're nitpicking, right? Like, if you go look at these Twitter conversations, all the guys, I've saw like countless people and I've responded to them because it's fun. All the guys that are like, oh, 73 is not the true record. Aaron Judge's new home run king. You go look at their bio. They're Yankees fans. Mm-hmm. So my first question to them is like, okay, so you think steroids are the reason that Barry Bonds isn't relevant or can't be official, whatever you want to call it. do you acknowledge your 2009 and 2000 and what was it 2 or 1 whatever 2000 World Series championships? Like, do you know who was on those teams? Because 2 pitchers on those teams were accused of using steroids,
and you know,
and they were your best pitcher.
Like, if you want to get in, if they want to start nitpicking about who was on steroids and who wasn't, they don't want to hear. You don't want to hear about the players that weren't caught.
That's what I was going to say. You know how many people were probably using steroids that just weren't caught?
And it's going to be. And
they didn't
I
test.
mean, obviously, we don't know, but it's going to be guys that are beloved.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't want to like Jeter, for example. Probably not. But it could be people like that you love, and then you're going to be like.
That's the thing. I think the thing is, like, everybody associates steroids with, like, guys getting jacked and hitting the ball out of the park. But a lot of guys in major leagues, if you go ask them, guys that have been asked about it, the reason they took steroids were to stay healthy,
right.
to recover from injury.
Right.
Like,
you and I can take steroids all day long. We ain't hitting 73 home runs in a season, bro.
Not a chance.
Like, you know what I mean? It's so. And then the whole thing about, like, okay, you want to say that anybody who took steroids, their records don't count? Fine. 73 is still the record because you know what? He didn't fail a test.
Right.
You could think he was on steroids all you want, and maybe there's evidence that points towards it, but he didn't fail a test. So 73 is the record.
This kind of brings me to another conversation, which I don't want to talk too long about.
Yeah, we're at like an hour right now. So.
I was having this conversation with a friend of mine the other day. Obviously, in that conversation, in the Barry Bonds conversation, I always throw out Barry Bonds is the greatest baseball player to ever play the game of baseball, hands down, in my opinion. But as we're talking through these things, just out of the blue, I got this feeling and this thought, and so I said it, and I was like, it should have been Griffey. All of it. It should have been Griffey.
That's my favorite player.
It should have been Griffey. Griffey was one of the most transcendent baseball players of all time. He brought eyes to the game without steroids, so we think, I assume.
I don't care if
I would
he
never
care if he
want
took him.
Yeah, I don't care if he took him either, to be fair. But if he did take him, he probably wouldn't have been injured most of his career.
Yeah.
It should have been Griffey. He was one of the most beloved guys. The media loved him. Like, if he was the guy that hit 73 home runs, we wouldn't even be having this conversation.
No. That's it.
His response to me was Barry Bonds and Barry Bonds' dad were way better than the Griffeys, and I was like, that's fair. Like, that's fair.
I mean, Griffey's I will never say a bad thing about Griffey. He's my favorite player. I think he's one of the best players I've ever seen. But also, Mike Trout exists.
Yeah, that's fair.
Let's wait till his career's over.
Mike Trout's having the Griffey issue, though, where he's injured all the damn time.
Mike Trout missed 40 games this year and still hit 40 home runs.
I know. That's interesting.
I also saw this was like 2 days ago, that him and Ohtani have the same number of home runs combined that they have wins.
Jesus.
Just, fun times for the Angels.
Jesus. There's so many baseball thoughts actually running through my head. Can we acknowledge that the Mets blew their division?
I called it.
They fucking blew
called it. I called it. It's the Mets. Yes. I 100% thought that would happen. It's
hilarious.
Yeah.
One last thing I want to get into before we get into top 5. Tulane is 4-1.
Yes.
Tulane should be in the top 25.
Yes.
They received 9 votes.
Yes.
They beat Kansas State, who is in the top 25 and is a Power 5 school.
I just need to finish the season strong.
Yeah,
we've seen them get off to the starts. Finish it strong.
Yeah.
By no means do I expect them to end the season with one loss.
One loss, yeah. No,
but I also didn't expect them to be 4-1. So
I definitely did not expect them to be 4-1. And coming into last week's game, hearing that Pratt was out, I was like, oh fuck, man, we're in trouble. Hopefully the backup's good. And then the backup goes out in the first quarter, and I'm like, son of a bitch.
That was one of the most exciting Tulane games I've ever watched.
Yeah,
that was so fun, man. Aaron Judge be damned. Last thing I have before we do top 5. Have you heard about this walleye fishing scandal?
No. What's happening?
So apparently, a walleye, I guess, is a type of fish. I don't know. I don't fish.
Yeah.
There were 2 guys who apparently have won all kinds of tournaments over the last few years. This year, they've won like over $300,000 or something like that in this most recent tournament, and it's all over Twitter. You'll have to look it up because the videos are crazy. They got the other competitors had been confused all year about how these guys kept winning because their fish were always the same size or bigger than the guys that were winning, but their fish weighed more. So this last tournament of the season, they were about to be named. They were about to be told they won that tournament and that they were going to be team of the year. Somebody questioned it, so they take their fish, they cut it open, they stuff them with weights, stuff them with walleye fillets.
What?
Like every single fish, they were stuffing with weights to be to make the weight more and win the tournaments. And it turns out they've won all kinds of tournaments over the last 5 years or something like that. So
That's
now it's
funny.
like the group of guys that, I mean, it's like a fishing community. So it's imagine that crowd finding that out. Like these dudes just swarmed them, bro. Like they were about to fuck this dude up. Oh my god,
Pissed.
like I mean, people pay good money to be in those tournaments,
Oh,
bro.
yeah.
Like it's just you got to see the video because it's insane. Like just the idea that these people may have been
That's
doing this
funny.
for 5+ years.
That's so funny.
I was at work when I saw it the other night, and I went down a rabbit hole for 2 hours till 2 a.m. just looking up videos of what happened.
So I didn't see that, but that is hilarious, and I do have a thought about that. It probably brought more eyes to that sport than that sport has ever had before, which is hilarious.
I just told you I didn't know a walleye was
Yeah.
the type of fish.
But on top of that, the reason I had that thought is because I had that very same thought about another story. So let's roll into another story about cheating. Did you see that the chess grand?
I
What do
haven't
they
seen
call
the
it?
chess.
Grandmaster.
I've
or
seen
whatever?
people saying something about chess cheating, but
Apparently, he cheated in over 200 matches. 200 matches over the last couple years. He's illegitimate, not deserving. I saw this earlier on Twitter. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
it's so funny
Who
because
cares? But people care.
then you dive, but I don't really care about the fisherman. But I'm like, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. So you dive into it.
Yeah.
and
I was like, what?
dude, it's just like I said, I don't give a shit about this fishing tournament.
I could never do that. To be honest, I have such a conscience. I wouldn't be able to get away with that.
Dude, this and the look on this dude's face as they're cutting the fish open, I'm like, this dude is shaking in his fucking boots right now.
He knows he's caught.
Right.
Jesus.
Dude, they cut it open. He pulls the weight out. The guy goes, "We got weights and fish," and he's just like, "Get the fuck out!"
Did he run? Because I hope
No,
he
he
ran.
stood
That'd be
there. He
hilarious.
literally stood there like this, just dumbfounded. It's like a 15-minute video. He's just like, and everybody around him, "You mother!"
Jeez.
I was like, I honest to God, I don't know how he made it out of there alive. They end up calling the cops and everything. I'm assuming it's going to be a whole thing, but who knows? Probably the last I'll ever hear about it.
I wonder how much money he's gonna have to pay back. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, they won they said they've won over $300,000. So.
Tulane's magic number is 2. By the way, let's go back to that.
To
and
go
put a bow
bowling?
on that. Yeah. Anyways, what you got?
I'm making sure I got nothing else for you. It's been a while since we kind of talked.
Oh, there's way more we could talk about, but we need to wrap this up.
Yeah, just real quick. I thought it was hilarious that DK got carted to the bed.
dude.
My favorite part is that he embraced it. It was like, yeah, the clinched run wasn't going to make it in time.
Good. More athletes should be transparent. Not that I need to know when a guy's got to go crap, but
JJ Watt needs to just hang him up.
oh man,
He
I
fucking
saw
died basically, and then came
that.
back.
And still played.
Unreal, dude. Hang him up, bro.
Stop playing.
Like he said, did you see his press conference where he talked about he's got a baby on the way and all of this? Like,
No, I
dude,
didn't see it.
hang him up.
Yeah, I saw the tweet where he's like, "Hey, I need to say this before the story
Yeah.
comes out."
Newsflash, buddy.
Jesus,
The
dude.
Cardinals ain't winning the Super Bowl. Hang him up.
You tweeting this did not make this better.
Yeah.
Like,
Lastly, the Pels were on, so you may not have seen too much of it. You watched that game last night, or see the clips of the two number 1 and number 2 prospects?
no, I mean, well, yes.
That
What-
dude is
what's-
an alien, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Victor Wembanyama, whatever the fuck his name is.
I have never. I don't know how the NBA can handle that.
And to be fair, Scoot Henderson, the number 2 guy, is just as good as he is. He's just not the freak.
But he's not 7'4". Like,
If
it's
you watch
insane.
I saw
some highlights.
Dude, he was hitting step backs over him. Like
Dude.
he's unreal how good that dude is too. But the 7 foot, every day he grows another inch. It seems. They also have a guy on his team named Steve Ho You Fat.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's fun.
I saw that.
But
I heard the clip. The announcer's like, "Oh, you fat from 3," and he's like, "Yes, that's
7'4", 3, whatever it is. It's like with real handles.
Yeah.
A jumper better than Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Like,
and not skinny as hell like you would expect a 7'4" guy to be.
Yeah, he's not built like Chet. Like,
dude, I don't know.
We're about to see God tier level taken this season. And
Yeah.
if the basketball gods want to make the Lakers terrible this year,
so
that we could see the Zion Victor Wembanyama combo, please, please.
I was all hyped up about the Pelicans, and then I saw the clips of Wembanyama, or however you say his name, and I was like, well, it was fun while it lasted, because once he gets in the league,
if you're 6 seed or worse this year, just tank it. Like, just go get it. Do what you got to do.
Take your chances
for the chances. But anyway, that's it. That's all I got. Top
5. Yes, top 5 tonight is gonna be top 5 duos.
Just duos. Anything. Food, music, movies, fictional, not fictional.
This topic fucked me up. I'm going to be honest with you. I was like, yeah, I could do that, and I wrote down like 1, and then I wrote down 50 more, and I don't have a top 5. I have a top 50.
Well,
I don't even have a top 50. I just have 50 things written down.
Full disclosure, this topic came from earlier when I said that the Ireland-UK combo is a top 5 duo of all time.
Okay.
That's how it came about to me. And I made my top 5 like 6 days ago.
Okay.
Because I was going to just give it to you right after that one. And then, we just decided to carry on to it. But you want me to just do my number 5 real quick? Because kind of spoiler already.
Go for it.
The Ireland-UK combo in Epcot
during
Food and Wine Festival. Because I don't know. I guess that's not always there. That little Ireland.
No, it's not.
So, yeah, top 5 or number 5 is Ireland-UK combo in Epcot. I wish I remember what it was. The drink from Ireland. It was so good. So good. I have it written down. I'm not going to scroll through my notes and find it. But, yeah, number 5, Ireland-UK combo.
I think we're locked up. I'm good. I have 50 things written down. I'm going to just randomly say things here, and hopefully it works out.
You have any honorable mentions you want to throw in real quick?
I'll throw in my honorable mentions. As I was writing my list, I just kept writing things, and then instantly I thought of the song "Gangsters and Pimps." I know you don't. We talked about this a couple minutes ago, but he literally just starts naming like duos of things. He's like gangsters and pimps, love lobsters and shrimps, Kool-Aid and chicken, fancy things and women. All I need is women and weed, something like that. Anyways, I could go through the whole song probably, but. Other honorable mentions, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash completely changed the way the wrestling world works. Woody and Buzz, definitely going to be an honorable mention. But I'll get to my number 5. How the fuck do I even narrow this down? Number 5.
I'm looking at his phone right now. It's like a 2-scroller.
I have no idea. This is going to be such an illegitimate list because I'm just going to pick things. Number 5. I'm going with Outkast.
Okay. How are you ever going to remember? You better write this down because you're the one that's got to put the graphic together.
Right. All right, I'll put numbers.
I like
next
that
to the one
though.
pick.
I like Outkast one of the best things I've ever done is seeing Outkast in person.
Fuck yeah.
We went you ever heard of Hangout Fest?
Yeah.
So this had to be 7-8 years ago now, a long time ago. They were going to Hangout Fest. It was the first year I ever went. And it was like $300 for the tickets, and I went just for Outkast because I was like, this could be the only opportunity I ever get to see Outkast in person. And we did the whole thing where we sat at the front of the stage all day long to see him.
Hell yeah.
And then I saw him like 3 months later at Foodie Fest.
Never going to see him again. Saw him twice in 3 months.
Right.
Yeah, they must have been good.
It was fun. He came out in a Fat Chicks Need Love 2 jumpsuit, so that was fun.
Who, Andre? Or?
Yeah, Andre.
Oh.
Number 4 for me, red beans and rice.
Nice. That's going to be on my list. I'm going to be honest. I have it written down.
Well, you got 50 other options. You tell me you can't pick something different.
Well, I mean, I had to pick I guess red beans and rice could be a runner-up for me. I can put that on the...
It doesn't matter. Whatever you want to do. Yeah, red beans and rice for me.
That's fine. I'll leave red beans and rice to you. You can
had white beans tonight. I got Devin, if you ever watch this, do white beans count as tradition?
They don't, first of all.
Okay.
They don't. But white beans are underrated.
100%.
White beans are underrated.
100%.
White beans, but what do you consider white beans though? Like butter beans or like there's different like I guess lima beans aren't white beans.
We had
like,
literally just said large white beans, basically is what it was. But yeah, butter beans, all that counts.
Dude,
as white
so
beans
underrated. Love that shit. But no, it's not tradition in my opinion.
Okay.
Devin might.
He's the expert. So.
Yeah, he's. I'm not the expert. I didn't do it 100 and some weeks in a row. So, all right. What is my number 4? Fuck, not beans because I'm gonna leave that to you. I'm gonna go coffee and any sweet bread item, whether it's a cookie, whether it's a pancake, anything a donut, anything you can dip into your coffee, phenomenal.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that a lot. Although I don't dip things in my coffee.
Well, you're missing out.
Interesting. Can you dip a beignet in coffee? How does that come out?
Yeah, you probably could. The powder would probably just.
Powder
I have
powder
I have,
sugar into the coffee sounds.
I don't think it would mess up the coffee.
that sounds
I'll be
pretty good.
honest.
My number 3, I wanted to get a sports duo on here.
Yeah.
Pat White and Steve Slayton.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
I almost went Reggie Bush and Lendell White.
Okay, that would have been awesome.
But
too,
I like
because I didn't even think of
Pat
Lendell
White, Steve Slayton. Those West Virginia days were electric. That was a fun team. I think Pat McAfee was the punter or kicker on that team.
Oh, what a fun team! I didn't even know that.
I think so.
Love Pat McAfee. Man. He's awesome. Oh wait, I need to put my little 4 next to. Where am I at?
This hoodie was a mistake, by the way. It's
hot?
getting a little hot out here.
I'm not hot at all, man. I'm also sick, so I guess I can erase all these lyrics to this song. Let's see. I said some of these already. 4, 3. I'm gonna go Keenan and Kel.
I like that. I
Keenan
like that a lot.
Snick is Rugrats, all that. Keenan and Kel.
I like it.
Anyways,
number 2, you kind of ruined it already. Buzz and Woody.
Nice.
Big Toy Story guy.
Nice.
Big Toy Story guy over here.
Nothing wrong with that.
I think I've already said on here that Toy Story is my all-time favorite movie.
You did say that.
Not animated, all-time favorite movie. Go ahead. The Town is my second favorite movie, for what it's worth.
Where do I go? I don't know what my number 1's going to be if I do this. I was going to do Beans and Rice 3, and then fucking, I don't know. Number 2, Shrimp and Grits.
Shrimp and grits? I don't like shrimp. I like boiled shrimp. I'm not a big, I guess fried shrimp's okay. I'll eat any kind of shrimp, but I'm not a big seafood guy.
Yeah, I know.
So,
You made me talk shit too again. Last time we had this conversation, I realized.
I also don't like grits.
Wow.
I don't like grits. Kind of bland. They're just bland to me. No matter what you do to them, they're just bland.
Who are you?
I don't like grits. Anyway, number 1 for me, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy.
That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. I have other honorable mentions I'll go through in a second.
DX, honorable mention.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Number 1 for me, crawfish and cold beer.
I like that.
I realized I went with a food theme as I was going through this list. I have way more than food on here.
I tried to touch on a few different areas.
I was trying to think of like an alcohol theme. Like
Jack and Coke.
Yeah, but I don't drink Coke.
Yeah, that's true.
Like margaritas and queso, like fucking chips and queso. Boom, another one, not even on my list.
There you go.
Anyways,
salt and pepper, and salt and pepper.
Yeah, I thought of them too. Grew up on them. Other honorable mentions: Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
Bacon and eggs.
Yeah.
Biscuits and gravy.
Ooh, yes.
If you ask my dad, coffee and cigarettes.
We went to Where You At in Mandeville.
Oh,
I got biscuits and gravy. They did biscuits and brown gravy.
Interesting.
With roast beef for breakfast. It wasn't bad. They had the option for white gravy.
Yeah.
But they were like, we also do brown gravy. I was like, well, that's new.
I'll try anything once. No, I'm definitely is it sawmill gravy? Is that what it's called? Biscuits and white gravy?
I guess.
Like,
I don't know.
That's my shit, man. There's a part of me. Look, I'm a New Orleanian, but then my grandpa also was a Mississippian, so there's a lot of country in there.
We kind of flew through that. This would also probably be our shortest podcast ever if we stopped right now.
Fuck yeah.
How about that?
Dunking on them hoes.
Maybe. I don't know. Let's see. Because we always have an hour and 18 minutes.
Good.
Sad that that's our shortest one.
Call it. Stop the count.
Stop the count. Well, I mean, that's all I got, really. You got anything else? What's anything in the tank to write?
No, man.
You want to
I've
brag
actually been
about how you're
slacking.
leading the picks
I am leading in picks by like a lot, by like 5 or 6
out of nowhere?
wins all of a sudden.
Just
y'all
remember,
had a bad week last week.
As quickly as you got it, you can lose
I
it.
totally could lose it. I probably will. No, I don't really have anything. I've been sucking as far as writing things, and everything I want to write about. I find that like you and you and Ethan randomly write something and it's in the drafts. And I'm like, all right, well, I just won't write.
I just had two, like, those two that I put out were just like two out of nowhere, just randomly.
Yeah, but that's also stuff like I would write. We shouldn't all write the same story. You know what I mean? So it's like,
yeah, I've had a few things that I've told you I was gonna write, and then like 2 weeks later, I'm like, I don't feel like writing it.
yeah.
So it's like if I really want to write it, I got to do it immediately, or it's just not gonna. Because it only takes me 20 minutes. If I really want to sit down and write something,
I want to write, I can knock it out pretty quick. And I mean, I'll do some research and stuff. But no, don't have anything written. I've been having some fun with Patty's Players though, doing like the video
I do
stuff.
like this new way you're doing it.
Yeah, it's been fun. Just me and a cameraman. And then
what else is coming up?
No, what you got? You got anything coming up?
No, not writing wise.
No.
It's hockey season. I don't know if you care about hockey.
No, I do not, but I can pretend.
You should become
Go
Golden.
Preds.
You should become a Golden Knights fan.
Nope.
No.
I'm going with the Predators.
Whatever. Yeah.
They just feel fun.
We got a few more weeks, and then you'll be heading to Disney. I'll be heading to Vegas when you come back. So that should be an interesting 2 weeks of podcast. We're gonna have to figure that shit out.
Figure it out. We'll get creative. We did it last week. We could do it again.
Yeah. I think we're gonna try to get some more stuff like that out for y'all because we had fun with that.
Yeah. Short, quick content. It's always fun. Same thing with the Patty's Players thing, like that quick stuff. It's always
I need
funny.
to find me a way to something like that.
We just start doing skits. If you have recommendations for skits, we'll get creative. I don't know. We'll figure something out. Other than that, like, follow, subscribe at the Patty V.
At rainy_days. The E is a 3.
Yep.
And at Be in the Know.
Yep.
TheKnow.com to check all our articles.
That's it. That's true. And then as far as like our actual handle, at Who Effin' Knows on everything. I slacked while Dave was out of town. I did not put out many videos across the different social medias.
Really, the last 2 weeks we kind of slacked off on it.
Yeah, but we will be getting more of that out too. So just be on the lookout for that.
Don't we have some kind of giveaway going on right now?
We do.
I can't. I don't know. I can't keep up.
We do. I don't remember exactly. We're giving away tickets to the Pels preseason game.
Are we?
I believe so. I think that's what it is, right?
Check that out, guys. I don't know. I didn't read it.
Yeah, it's Ethan started.
I turned notifications on for all of y'all, and it's just too much.
Yeah, I just retweet the shit I see, and I'm like, all right.
It's like it all just gets lost in a bundle of shit.
I don't know how celebrities or like big time media guys keep up with things because
I saw Kay Adams like my tweet.
Yeah, she was the only person that liked that tweet. I noticed that like hours later.
That's you know what?
Like, look at this.
That's okay.
That's funny. But no, yeah, follow everything. We're doing that giveaway. So if you follow us at Who Effin' Knows on Twitter, and I believe you have to follow at Be in the Know, and then retweet the actual tweet.
Let's go retweet with the rules. I don't know.
Yeah, it's fine. It's on Be in the Know's Twitter, so go check it out. We've probably retweeted
we're black and orange today. Halloween season, buddy.
Fuck yeah. I just got some new lights for the front of my house.
Sorry, I keep dragging this on.
Shut up, Dave.
Sorry.
Jesus.
I missed you, man.
Until next time. Who effing knows?
Later.